Just look at the news. I mean, all kinds of things that were conspiracies a mere 4 or 5 years ago are now blatant, disgusting realities in front of us. And how we react to that, how we respond to that, how we take that chaos and turn it into something else, well, that's up to us. And that's what this moon's for. Hello, beautiful souls. It's Dr. Danny. Welcome to the Real Sky. Today's video will be about the next new moon on March 18th. You guys might have noticed that I have been giving my own personal names to these moons. We've had the Alchemist moon. Before that was the Channeler's moon. Before that was the Architect's moon. Before that was the Warrior moon. And every moon has a different energy. So while I was looking ahead to this coming new moon, I noticed some things that were very interesting and different about it. One of the things is that Chiron, the wounded healer teacher in Pisces, is all by its lonesome. There aren't many aspects to it if you're looking at the standard luminaries that we look at in the real sky. But I also looked ahead to April's new moon, and it is all about Chiron. So what came to me as I was thinking about your rising signs and what this energy is going to bring for us was the Magician's moon. So this is the Magician's moon, and the next moon is the Adept's moon. And we need this new moon to get ready for what's coming, because friends, I know it's been tough out there. I'm getting your messages, and I do appreciate all your kind messages, but I also see suffering. I also see pain, and I get it. And the Alchemist moon was about taking those things that we react to and using them for our own good, using them to create the life, the world, the reality that we want. And we've been through that moon. We've gone through that moon. We're reaping the benefits of doing the eclipse Alchemist moon the correct way. And so today I offer you the Magician's moon, because what you're going to need to do for this next lunation is become a magician, to use that skill of alchemy once again, because it's not easy, but it can be quite magical. And the idea of taking chaos, taking difficult energies, and alchemizing them into something that you can use to create your own reality, to me, is a beautiful gift. And I think astrology helps us with that. And here on this channel, we use the real sky. We use the stars above us. There's nothing complicated about it. Yes, I have charts, but they mimic the actual sky. So it's not Vedic. There's no nakshatras here. There's no dashas here. And there's no tropical astrology here. Although we do use the Western system of the 12 houses, we just align it to the actual sky. So I'll be showing you some sky maps so that you understand what kind of astrology we do. And I offer it to you. If it resonates, then it helps you. And that's what I'm here to do. If it doesn't, and you have a differing opinion, as long as you're kind, not rude or disparaging, please feel free to leave your comments. But I know all of us humans are going through similar energies. And so we'll get right into it, guys. I appreciate you watching. All right, beautiful souls, here it is. This is the night sky. This new moon is happening my time at 21:56 in the evening, so 9:56, just a few minutes before 10 p.m. And we won't see that moon in the sky, because when we have a new moon, it's a sun-moon conjunction. And if the sun were up, it would be daytime. So this is a program called stellium-web.org. And what I've done is I've asked the program to signify the sun's ecliptic. And this is what we look at when we look up at the night sky. So after the sun and the moon set, we should be able to see Jupiter mid-heaven, okay, with the Pleiades and Uranus right there. And that's our night sky. But we're considering this new moon. And since this happens after the sun sets, let's go ahead and remove the landscape here and take a closer look at the sun and the moon. We'll notice at the same time that sun and moon are also conjunct Neptune and Saturn. All right, so this is the beginning of a new lunar cycle. Every time we have a new moon, I want you to think of beginning a new breath. So at the bottom of the inhale, right before you take that deep breath, this is the moment of the new moon. And as the moon swells, as the moon moves across the sky, and becomes the full moon, then we have the full inhale of the breath. And then as the moon wanes, goes through its third quarter and back to the new moon again, it's a long exhale. This is a cycle. So there is a frequency to this energy. And the way that we figure out what that is we not only look at what's happening around the sun and the moon, but we also look at the sky behind it. So I'm going to put in the constellations for you. And then, so this gives us a coordinate system that we're used to looking at. We have Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces here. And you can see Uranus is in Taurus, Jupiter is in Gemini. So this is the real sky. If you could see the constellation lines behind the sunshine, this is what you would see. So many people are going to say that this sun and moon are very close to Aries. They might even be saying it's an Aries new moon, but it's nowhere close to Aries. Aries is all the way over here. So we're not going to read this as an Aries or a late Pisces new moon. We're going to read this as a Pisces moon. And the other thing that we look at is the angles and the aspects that sun and moon are making to the other planets, as well as the lunar nodes. So let me do this real quickly for you. I'm going to put the ground back in. We're going to back up a little bit. And then I'm going to show you the sky or the sun's ecliptic from a circular perspective. So if you were to back up and zoom way out, you would see this arc across the sky. Let's take the ground out again and look at what we have. We basically have a zodiac chart here, don't we? We have Virgo, Leo, Cancer, Gemini, Taurus, Aries, Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Scorpio, and Ophiuchus, and then Libra. We have the entire zodiac here. But these zodiac signs, these constellations, are not all 30 degrees. And the tropical system is not accurate to the sky. Okay, so we're just reading the real sky and we're putting it in its chart. Here is what it looks like. This is what that moon will look like on a chart. We've basically taken this circle, cut a two-dimensional slice through the sky and plopped it into a chart so that we can analyze the angles and the alignment between these planets. So if you don't mind, I'm going to take you into the presentation where we can dissect this chart a little further. I'm going to put the moon and sun on the ascendant for Pisces. So if you are already a Pisces rising in constellational astrology, and you know that, this entire reading is for you, my friend. So definitely pay attention, because the house will be the same for your natal chart. All right, so let's get into that presentation. But once again, I'd like to reiterate that if the astrology of this month seems easy and okay for you, the next month isn't. And so what we need to do during this lunation, during the Magician's moon, is become the adept through what we're going to be analyzing in this chart. Once we go through your rising signs, it will be more specific for you and for your chart ruler, okay? If you are someone who practices tropical astrology, you can maybe use these signs, but I don't know that it will be accurate for you. So I have provided a constellational chart calculator link in the description of this video. You don't have to give me your email. You can just go in there and put in your birth details, and that will show you your rising sign. And I'll show you how to do that here in just a little bit. If you don't know the time of your birth, then just use your sun sign for the following individual personal readings. And if you're one of my students, I encourage you to listen to the entire video so that you know how the energy shifts through the different rays of the sky. All right, without further ado, it is not over yet. All right, let me just do I just have two announcements. I just want to thank the channel members. Number one, for the support that you guys give me every month. This video is brought to you by the channel members. So you guys get all of the good stuff first that I record. You also get exclusive videos and presentations that I do as collaborations. And we meet once a month via Zoom live to go over the coming energy. So they get this presentation first, and then we meet and they bring their charts to me and we talk about what's going on in their individual lives. So a lot of value there, and appreciate every one of you that has supported this channel. If you want to connect with me, free support just includes liking this video. You can hype it if you're so inclined. Subscribe to the channel if you're lurking. That way, when you hit the notify bell, anytime I go live or I drop a new short, you will be notified. Also, guys, I do daily shorts, daily lunar energy updates. So every single day, you will know where the moon is. Those of you that have had readings from me where I tell you need to follow your lunar energy, those are your friend. Every morning, it's like a quick 2-minute update onto what you might be feeling throughout the day, as well as some ways to kind of cope with that energy. So share the channel, share my videos if you know people that are open to using the actual stars for their astrology. We do have a Facebook group called the Fellowship of 13 Signs. That group is growing every week, and all kinds of astrology is welcome. And again, you can join the channel, you can get a reading with me, you can even take a course. I teach this kind of astrology, and I do have a free course over on learn.drdanny.com. You can also buy the book, The 13th Sign, Ophiuchus, and the Astrology They Don't Want You to See. If you get into this book, the first part of it is going to tell you why astrology works and why we need to match ourselves back up to the actual sky in order to get through the energy we are navigating. The middle part of the book discusses a whole new hero's journey that has nothing to do with the journey from Aries to Pisces. It's about your soul. And the final part of the book is everything you need to decipher the Ophiuchus energy in your own chart. So you have some tough placements in there. You got Pluto in there. Maybe you have Neptune or Uranus in there. This book will read those for you. And then you can also figure out what house your Ophiuchus is in. And the reading for that is in this book. So whatever you need to decode your Ophiuchus to show yourself your off-ramp out of the wheel of karma. So let's get into March 18th of 2026, the Magician's moon. All right. So like I said, this is occurring in Pisces at 9 degrees, really literally 1 degree away from the equinox point that everyone is very excited about. So they're going to tell you it's a cuspy, anaretic, critical degree energy, but I think it just feels intense because it's next to Saturn and Neptune. So here it is, just zoomed in a little bit. I could have aligned that a little bit better, but it's still the same date, maybe just an hour or two after. So at any rate, you can see that Sun and Moon are conjunct. They are very close to Neptune and very close to Saturn, and they are in the constellation of Pisces. And Pisces is the realm of imagination, intuition, dreams, and the invisible forces that shape our reality beneath the surface. Neptune dissolves the boundaries of the ordinary world, and Saturn stands beside it, asking us to give form and structure to what we sense but cannot yet fully see. So you see, Saturn crystallizes your reality for you. You build your own prisons, friends. I build my own prison. Everything that I say yes to, everything that I say no to, or that I don't say no to, creates the reality around me. And Neptune's been doing quite a job getting rid of all of the illusions. If you don't agree with that, just look at the news. I mean, all kinds of things that were conspiracies a mere 4 or 5 years ago are now blatant, disgusting realities in front of us. And how we react to that, how we respond to that, how we take that chaos and turn it into something else, well, that's up to us. And that's what this moon's for. When Saturn and Neptune work together, something really remarkable begins to happen. Vision becomes structure. Imagination becomes form. The dream begins to take shape in the material world. And that is why this lunation feels so much like the archetype of the magician. You see, the magician doesn't create something from nothing. The magician recognizes that the tools have always been there. The elements are already on the table. What changes is awareness. So here we have Pluto in Capricorn. That's right, friends. Pluto is nowhere near Aquarius and will not be there until 2040. The last 15 years, Pluto's been, moving through Sagittarius, transforming our beliefs. And because our beliefs have been so completely transformed, the energy, the work that Pluto does in Capricorn transforms all those old structures, all those old paradigms. And it does it slowly and in a controlled way. Pluto isn't about chaos. It's just about destruction. Mercury and Mars are more about the chaos. So what is the slow destruction here? I think it's the slow destruction of our illusions with that sextile to Neptune. Neptune conjunct Saturn gives us something to grab onto in the mist, in the darkness, in the spiritual realm. And we have the opportunity here to access some really amazing power to remove things, to get rid of things that we don't need in our life anymore. And that's what the magician does. There's another sextile to Uranus, Uranus in Taurus. So here we have two earth signs. We have Pluto and Uranus, and then we have Saturn and Neptune. But they've been together for a while, and this configuration between these four planets has been this way for quite a while. It's really grounded spiritual support. It feels like all the OGs of the pantheon of any mythology, of all of our mythologies, are literally rooting for us to go through this transformation, to realize how powerful we really are. Uranus's job in Taurus is to help us ground new cosmic codes, right? To change the physical reality, to find the spiritual technology that helps us alter our reality. That's what he's doing there. He is literally the magician, and he knows how to do it because he has contact with those, with extracellular DNA and light codes that, that we get to receive. So we're grounding it in our bodies. We're grounding it in the physical reality. The Uranus is actually trying to Pluto as soon as it moves direct for a couple more weeks, and then we'll have that whole configuration back again. And so this new moon right on one of these points is literally the fulcrum, the magician walking on stage or walking into their laboratory and beginning the true work of alchemy. And we learned that during the last lunation, during the alchemist moon. So that's amazing. Pluto's also involved. Now, this is tangential to lunar energy, but it's also just as important. You see these sextiles and these crisscross of trines. Pluto in a sextile to Black Moon Lilith provides us access to the deep shadow. So if you're willing to go there, this is an excellent opportunity, this time frame, this alignment of planets, to go deep within, to excavate, to find out where your true authority is and stand in it. Because it really doesn't matter how anything shakes out, you're going to be fine. But if you don't know yourself, if you don't know where you stand, if you don't know what you stand on, because you haven't done this work between these two planets, the next month's going to feel really bad. If this month feels bad, the last month felt bad, it's not going to ease up for quite a while, not till the summertime. Okay? So use this opportunity. It's very rewarding when you do. And remember, this is you, Pisces Rising. You're 9th, 11th house. So when we get deeper into the house energies, you'll know more specifically how that will affect you. But this is for everybody too. So Lilith is also in aspect to Sun and Moon, to Venus, and then to the lunar nodes. Let's look at this. So first, the square to the lunar nodes. This is a T-square. This is the pulling from look at me energy. I'm Leo. I am beautiful. Love me. To what's the work that needs to be done? Where are we going? What does the collective have to look forward to? What new technologies, new ways of doing things, new ways of doing business are available? I feel like that's where we should be setting our sights. But either way, what's so nice about Black Moon Lilith doing the square is it doesn't matter which one you pick. Because if it's your authentic truth, then you're doing it right. Okay, but she's not going to take it either way, and you really can't waffle. So personally, I like to think of, what's next, but some people are in a different space in their life. They need to be more selfish. They need to think about themselves. They need to get out of any dangerous situations that they're in because of their need to be seen. So that may be some work that you got to do. It might be on this side, might be on this side. There's challenges in both. Both challenges give you great reward. So then Lilith, with her sextile to Pluto, giving you the opportunity to do this deep shadow work, challenging you on your authentic truth and where you stand, is also trine to the moon, sun, Neptune, and Saturn. So she's almost saying, okay, now you've done the shadow work. You know your truth. The illusions are gone. Go ahead and grab onto that thing that's real for you and create something amazing. The connection to Venus is also very nice, because if there's something that you can't put words into, ask your body, just say, is this a yes? Is this a no? And Venus will give you that. You'll feel it. You'll know it won't feel good, or it will feel good. Right. And so you'll have that answer. And if it doesn't feel good, it's typically not true. And Lilith really isn't going to tolerate you doing anything other than what's true. And so if your body is in the mode of true, but your mind is not, then you're going to have a disconnect. You're going to have a little bit of trouble there. It's going to feel a little shaky. So sometimes we have to just kind of let the intuition lead us, especially while Mercury's retrograde. Because not only is Lilith square to the North Node, but she's also square to Mercury retrograde, Mars, and the North Node. And Mercury retrograde's an incredibly magical time, but it's intense. So think about just sitting there trying to have a normal thought. During Mercury retrograde, you have intense frequencies coming at you. And sometimes they are disresonant with what you are thinking, and they're very distracting. Sometimes it helps to just go with the flow with Mercury, have a little bit of a sense of humor. Be very careful about entering into any contracts or financial agreements while Mercury is retrograde, because when it comes back the other way, you might have to redo it. And again, you'll have to have a wonderful sense of humor. 2 days after this moon, Mercury's going direct. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's not when Mercury goes retrograde where I have trouble. It's where Mercury goes direct again after retrograde. I can handle the upswing of the energy. It feels really good. The channel's wide open. But then as soon as it's direct, that's when things start to kind of crumble a little bit. So you want to be ready. Mars is here. And when Mars and Mercury get together, they're going to have another conjunction in a few weeks. They just had one a few days ago. And it's always hot. It always ends up in words with people, like people fighting for what they believe in, fighting against what they don't believe in. So there's a lot of that out there. And I would say that if you have a choice, you should absolutely fight for something that you believe in, not against something you don't believe in, because the universe doesn't know the difference. And as a magician, that's rule number one. It doesn't know the difference. So that's why they tell you to stay high vibrational. Because if you don't know you're creating magic and you're mad, you're creating bad energy. Okay. But if you know you're a magician and you know you have to keep your vibe high, you're going to do the shadow work so that it's easier for you. And you're going to create something wonderful. So fight for what you believe in once you know what that belief is. And then just watch the words when Mercury comes back direct, and just be very, very careful. All right. So the final couple of aspects that we want to think about are the Jupiter aspects. Jupiter makes a trine to Mars, Mercury, and the North Node. So that's very nice. Jupiter in Gemini is expanding our mind, expanding our beliefs, expanding our truth. And in a trine to Mars, it can feed that inspired action to fight for something expansive and wonderful and knowledgeable. So that's a really nice energy. And then Venus in a square to Jupiter, I talked about this in the last Venus live stream. This can be excess. So it might be going overboard with indulgences. Something you might fight for or stand up for feels really good. And so you're like, okay, that works. So maybe I'll fight against something I don't want. Watch what happens. It's not going to work. So you want to be really careful with overdoing it with this trine. So those are the themes for the month, really. It's like, do the shadow work, stand in your authentic truth, decide what's you. So when the chaos comes at you, you can stand in your power. And then you allow your ability to grab onto something tangible here in the mystic energy of Pisces. Now, the reason we're getting ready with this new moon for the next new moon is because the next new moon will be on Chiron, right here, the wounded healer teacher. And then the moon will go from Pisces to Aries. So it's going to feel pretty hot, pretty pop. It'll pop and sparkle a little bit. And if we have any wounding, if we're dealing with Chiron energy that is unintegrated, this might come up. And you want to learn the magician's skills this month so that you can be the adept next month. All right, just a real quick primer review about your chart rulers. So if you're Aquarius Rising, Uranus is your chart ruler. Capricorn is Saturn. Sag is Jupiter. Scorpio and Ophiuchus, you guys are one star field, so to speak. Mars was the traditional ruler, but because we distinguish these signs as two, Chiron is typically considered the ruler for Ophiuchus and Pluto for Scorpio. So I'll let you decide Scorpio and Ophiuchus rising. For Libra, I really like Mercury, but the traditional expression of Libra's ruler is Venus. And for Mercury, I really like Venus, but Mercury is the traditional expressive ruler for Virgo. Sun is ruler of Leo, Moon rules Cancer, Mercury rules Gemini, Venus rules Taurus, Mars, Aries, Neptune, Pisces. So that's what we'll be using for this presentation. And to find your ascendant, here's where you go to drdanny.com/free chart. And you put in your details. You look on this side of the chart. Whatever's hanging out right here is your ascendant. So this is an Aries ascending, and Mars is the chart ruler. And again, if you don't know your birth time, you're not going to know your ascendant. And that's okay. Maybe you can listen to every one of these, and if one of them resonates, or if you go back to previous videos and there's a certain sign that resonates, that might tell you around what time your birth time is. If there is a planet that you particularly favor or resonate with, like let's say Jupiter is your friend, you love Jupiter energy, you might be a Sag rising. Or let's say you just love Aries Mars energy, like Mars is your favorite planet, you might be an Aries rising. So that's something to think about as well. All is not lost. Okay, you can also look at stellium-web.com and look in the eastern sky and see what's rising. So all of the timestamps are below, my friends. We are going to start with you, beautiful, delicious Pisces rising. Hello, my friend. For Pisces rising, the magician's moon begins directly on your horizon. The sun and moon meet at 8 degrees of Pisces alongside Neptune and Saturn, straddling your ascendant. This will not be a subtle lunation for you. It lands in the place where identity enters the world. Something about how you understand yourself and how you present yourself, and also how you move through life, is shifting a bit. Pisces is already your native sky, the realm of intuition, imagination, and deep spiritual awareness. And with Neptune here, that sensitivity becomes amplified. You might feel more attuned to subtle signals than usual. And Saturn is asking what you perceive be brought into form. So the magician's moon for you is not just about managing your reality. It's also about learning how to shape it consciously. Saturn on the ascendant will ask for maturity in your identity. You're being invited to take your intuitive gifts seriously and give them structure. What once felt like a vague knowing can now become a path, a practice, or a responsibility you're willing to embody. Venus and Chiron are also in your first house, emphasizing that the work of this cycle is deeply personal. Venus will bring the magnetism and beauty to your presence, and others may notice something about you shifting during this time. While at the same moment, Chiron reminds you that parts of your identity have been shaped by old wounds or stories about who you believed you had to be. So during this magician's moon, something begins to heal through visibility. The magician's first act is often the courage to show up as they truly are. Mercury retrograde here in your 12th house, joining the North Node and Mars. This carries an important timing feature for everyone during this cycle, because wherever Mercury is in the chart, it will station direct within 2 days. So for Pisces rising, this means the mind is reorganizing the deep subconscious material just before clarity returns. Old memories, dreams, realizations, or private insights will surface in the days surrounding this new moon. Mars will add energy to the inner clearing, while the North Node confirms that releasing hidden patterns is part of your evolutionary path. So when Mercury stations direct, all you Pisces risings out there will experience a moment where something that was previously confusing suddenly make sense. The magician will work behind the curtain first, and whatever is discovered in quiet reflection becomes the intention you carry forward. The sextiles from Uranus and Pluto in your 2nd and 11th house will stabilize this whole process. Uranus is changing the way you understand money, value, and self-worth. There's unexpected shifts around resources, talents, and that may continue to unfold for you this month. Pluto will continue to transform your alliances, communities, and long-term visions of the future. As your identity evolves, the people you align with and the future you're building will begin to shift as well. Jupiter in Gemini will expand the intellectual and emotional atmosphere. The South Node in Leo encourages you to release old patterns of overwork, performance, or constantly proving your value through productivity. So you see where the magic is here. It's the North Node versus the South Node. Black Moon Lilith introduces that important dynamic, right? It creates a tension along that axis of destiny. The instinctual truth challenges the established path. Something buried, something ignored, or something suppressed seeks recognition. So for Pisces rising, that will unfold through the 9th house energy, which means your deeper instincts will actually guide you towards the most authentic version of yourself. So you might feel compelled to redefine your identity, your appearance, or your personal direction. You might feel called to share your spiritual insights. Old subconscious fears may surface. Changes in values, resources, or social alliances will unfold as your sense of self evolves. There'll be moments of clarity that'll arrive suddenly around the time Mercury stations direct through dreams, reflections, or conversations. So what you can do is journal your dreams, create a small daily ritual, and sit with an intention, like lighting a candle. Spend time near water. And you might find it also helpful to examine some of the beliefs you carry about yourself, right? So throughout this cycle, Chiron will be in your 1st house, healing your identity. The magician's moon helps you recognize the tools already in your hands. So Pisces rising, for now, the invitation is simple. Stand at the threshold of who you're becoming, because the magic begins the moment you step forward. Hello, Aries Rising. The magician's moon activates the realm of vision, alliances, and the future you're building with others here in the 11th house. This forms a powerful stellium that brings attention to community, networks, and long-term aspirations. So Neptune will heighten imagination and sensitivity to collective energies, while Saturn is asking you to take those dreams to form through commitment and responsibility. So it's not only about personal ambition for you this month, it's about aligning your vision with the right community. Venus and Chiron sit in your 12th house. This is a quieter layer. There's healing, there's surrender. Venus can bring gentle compassion toward yourself and others, while Chiron reveals wounds that have been carried privately. So some realizations may occur in solitude for you. Mercury retrograde and Mars join the North Node in your 11th house as well, amplifying the importance of friendships, collaborations, and even collective movements. So this Mercury will station direct in 2 days, so there may be misunderstandings within your groups. Mars will add urgency to this and momentum to those interactions. Moon, Sun, Saturn, and Neptune also form supportive sextiles to Pluto in your 9th and Uranus in your 1st. This brings an ongoing reinvention of your identity. Uranus in the 1st, you will feel more independent, unconventional, or willing to break from expectations than you once were. Pluto in your 9th continues to transform your worldview, beliefs, and understanding of truth. Together, these influences suggest that the vision forming in your 11th house is connected to a deeper transformation in how you see yourself and also the world. So as your perspective evolves, the future you imagine and the communities you choose to engage with will also evolve. Jupiter is in your 3rd house, expanding communication, learning, and information, while the South Node in Leo is in your 5th house. encouraging the release of old patterns connected to performance, ego validation, or creative expressions that rely on external recognition. Now, Black Moon Lilith hangs out in your 8th house right now. This is a powerful collective dynamic, right? So there's hidden motivations, suppressed emotions, or uncomfortable realities that may surface. So you might encounter moments where trust, vulnerability, or financial entanglements reveal a deeper truth. So Lilith will remind you to trust your instincts when navigating these emotional landscapes because she forms the supportive trine to the Pisces stellium and also to Venus. So you might feel inspired to participate in collective projects, humanitarian efforts, or networks that share your evolving vision. You may also have moments of private reflection here with Chiron. So quiet times alone will bring clarity about emotional patterns or relationships that need compassion and closure. So Aries Rising, to work effectively with this energy, you might benefit from balancing action with reflection, maybe spending time journaling about your long-term vision or even the communities that you wish to build. This can actually help you clarify the direction that's emerging right now. You might also want to engage in meaningful conversations with trusted friends or collaborators. They can also reveal new pathways forward. Some practices that will support this emotional processing for you include meditation, breath work, time spent near water. And as this moon unfolds, you are going to learn how your individual identity contributes to a larger collective story. People you meet, the conversations you have, and the visions you share may become part of the future that you're building. This cycle is going to prepare you for the next lunation, right? Chiron is active in your 12th house, but unaspected. And the next moon, the adept's moon, will be right on Chiron in your 12th house. So for now, just allow the vision of the future to take shape. The right allies and ideas will appear when you remain open to the magic unfolding through community and shared purpose. Lovely Taurus Rising. For those of us with Taurus Rising, including myself, this Magician's Moon lights up the highest point of our chart. The Sun and Moon are meeting with Saturn and Neptune in our 10th house. Now, Saturn and Neptune have been in our 10th house for a while, but now the Sun and Moon are coming there and highlighting that. So Pisces is imagination, compassion, and spiritual awareness. Neptune heightens the sense that our work must carry meaning beyond simple ambition. Saturn stands beside Neptune, reminding us that vision alone is not enough. The Magician's Moon asks us to give our dreams structure. Something about our direction in life may actually begin to crystallize now. What once felt like a vague calling may actually start to become a path we're willing to commit to. So we also have to look in Aquarius because that's also in our 10th house. We have Mercury retrograde there, the North Node, and Mars. This amplifies the importance of purpose and visibility. So Mercury is going to shift direct here. And when that shift happens, conversations about career, leadership, or public direction may begin to clarify very, very quickly. So plans that felt uncertain may suddenly make more sense. Mars adds courage and urgency, while the North Node suggests that the direction emerging now is connected to our evolutionary path. So we might feel as though something we've been reconsidering about our role in the world finally begins to move forward. Venus and Chiron are also in our 11th house in Pisces. So friendships, communities, the collective vision. Venus will bring supportive alliances and people who resonate with our ideals. Chiron will remind us that our relationship with groups or belonging may carry old wounds. We may have experienced moments in the past where we felt misunderstood or out of place within communities. So during this cycle, healing can occur through that connection. People who appear around us now will support the path that we're stepping into. Uranus will move through our 12th house. This is a subtle but profound influence, right? It's awakening parts of the psyche and bringing flashes of insights through dreams, meditations, or even subtle realizations. Jupiter in Gemini in the second house continues to bless and expand value and resources, personal income. As our sense of purpose evolves, opportunities connected to learning, communication, or sharing ideas may help support our material stability. Meanwhile, the South Node in Leo in the fourth house encourages us to release old emotional patterns connected to the past. Family expectations, childhood roles, or familiar comfort zones may no longer define who we are becoming. So this path forward invites us to step out of those older identities and claim a new direction in the world. Lilith in our seventh house, squaring the lunar nodes in fourth and 10th. Ooh, yeah. So there's instinctual truth challenges to the established path, right? There might be hidden motivations, unspoken feelings, or deeper power dynamics. So certain interactions might reveal truths about trust, loyalty, or even shared power. Lilith will ask us to listen to our instincts when navigating these moments. So she forms this flowing trine to Sun, Moon, Saturn, Neptune, and also to Venus. So revelations that will come that can actually support our growth. And so we're going to see shifts in our professional direction, recognition for our work, or opportunities to step into leadership roles. Conversations about career paths, collaborations, or long-term goals will absolutely move forward more quickly as Mercury stations direct. So we might also feel more inspired to align our work with a deeper sense of meaning. Now, supportive friendships or networks will emerge to help us navigate, and the people we connect with now may share our vision for the future. So the ways that we can work consciously with this new moon is to write down our long-term goals or the vision we feel called to pursue. That can help bring us clarity. And we should take small and deliberate steps toward that vision. That allows Saturn to anchor our dreams into reality. Quiet reflection is also very helpful and very powerful. This moon, the magician's moon, reminds us that our purpose is not something imposed from the outside. It emerges when we align our talents, intuition, and willingness to contribute to something meaningful. So preparing the ground for the next lunation, Chiron is present in the 11th house, reminding us that healing and belonging are intertwined with our sense of purpose. And the next month's moon will deepen that journey, asking how the wisdom we gain now can be embodied with even greater clarity and courage. So for now, we stand at an important threshold, Taurus Rising. The world is beginning to see what we are capable of creating. Gemini Rising, welcome to the Magician's Moon. All the magic is happening in your 9th house, where Sun, Moon, Saturn, and Neptune are hanging out. So this is where your mind stretches beyond familiar boundaries. It's the place of wisdom traditions, travel of both the body and the intellect, and the frameworks through which we interpret reality. And so Pisces here in your 9th house, this exploration becomes deeply intuitive and spiritual. Neptune heightens imagination and sensitivity to subtle truths, and Saturn stands beside it, asking that these insights be grounded in real understanding. So this magician's moon, Gemini, invites you to the development of a worldview that blends inspiration with discipline. Mercury retrograde, Mars, and the North Node are also in the 9th house. This will amplify the importance of learning and perspective during this cycle. So for you guys, when this Mercury goes direct in a couple of days, questions about belief, direction, education, or personal philosophy may quickly move toward clarity. So conversations, research, reflections that have been circling during the retrograde period may suddenly resolve into a deeper sense of purpose. Mars only adds courage and momentum to these realizations, and the North Node indicates that perspectives emerging now are connected to the evolutionary path ahead. The magician's work for Gemini Rising involves recognizing that the ideas shaping the mind ultimately shape the life being created. You also have Venus and Chiron here in Pisces, and they're in your 10th house, right? The house of career and public contribution. Venus will bring you grace, creativity, and compassion. And Chiron will introduce the possibility that past wounds related to visibility, authority, or recognition will still influence how comfortable one feels in stepping forward. So healing of those old professional or reputational insecurities can begin to unfold. The role that you're meant to play in the world may also become clearer. And sometimes the courage to step into leadership comes from finally believing in the message being shared. Jupiter in your first house magnifies the whole process, right? Expanding confidence, curiosity, and personal growth. You're going to feel an increased desire to speak, to write, to teach, or communicate what you're learning. Uranus in Taurus continues its long transit through the 11th house. And that's networks, friends, and the collective vision. So unexpected alliances or shifts within communities may arise. And the people appearing in your life may introduce new perspectives that support intellectual and spiritual growth. You also have the South Node in Leo right here at the edge of your third house, and it invites the release of old habits and communication. So the power here is speaking with clarity and authenticity. That's what you need to do. You need to speak it. Black Moon Lilith in the 6th house introduces an important dynamic for you in the 6th house of daily work, health, and routines. So there might be a moment when the body, the workload, whatever it is you're doing, reveals truths about what is sustainable and what is not. So Lilith will encourage you to listen to these instincts when you're navigating professional responsibilities or physical well-being. Now, the trine from Lilith to Sun and Moon is very supportive because insights can emerge here from the experiences, and it will guide you guys towards healthier habits and more authentic ways of serving people. Pluto in Capricorn in the 11th also plays an important role in transformation. So you may encounter powerful or transformative individuals that will challenge you, that will challenge your beliefs, your boundaries, and your commitments. So this is a period of study, teaching, publishing, or even travel that expands your personal philosophy. You will have the desire to explore spiritual traditions, educational opportunities, or even global perspectives that reshape understanding of the world. You may even have conversations with mentors or teachers that carry significant weight. So shifts in the career direction may unfold as confidence grows. And many of you will experience moments where a message that you feel called to share becomes unmistakably clear. So you want to work very consciously with this. You want to journal. You want to read, write, or engage in thoughtful dialogue that can help refine the vision, and practices that support both the mind and the body, such as mindful movement or meditation. This will help integrate the intuitive insights arriving through the energy of Pisces. So we're getting you ready for the next lunation here too. Chiron will be unaspected in your chart, but next month it will be, the sun and moon will be over Chiron. And so you will be asked how the wisdom that you learned this month can be embodied more fully in action and leadership. But for now, Gemini Rising, you are invited to explore the ideas that inspire your soul. The philosophy being formed now may become the compass guiding the journey ahead. Hello, Cancer Rising. Welcome to the Magician's Moon. This new moon is in your 8th house, conjunct Saturn and Neptune. So this is the deeper layers of life for you. It's emotional bonds, trust, shared finances. It's the process of confronting what lies beneath the superficial appearances. And with Pisces here, it becomes deeply intuitive and spiritual. Neptune's only going to heighten that sensitivity to hidden currents and emotional undercurrents. And Saturn's going to stand beside it, asking for maturity and clarity. This moon's inviting you, Cancer Rising, to look honestly at what's shared, what is entangled, and what must transform. You're also having Mercury retrograde in your 8th house, Mars in your 8th house, and the North Node. Quick conversations, realizations about financial partnerships, emotional commitments, or power dynamics will quickly begin to clarify this month. This is the rock bottom for you guys, Cancer Rising. Something that has felt uncertain or unspoken may soon become easier to articulate. Mars will also give you courage to face these deeper matters. And the North Node's going to indicate to you that the transformations unfolding now are part of your evolutionary path. So your work, Cancer Rising, involves recognizing that confronting the truth beneath the surface is the key to genuine empowerment. Venus and Chiron in the 9th house of philosophy, learning, expanded understanding. Venus will soften the influence to beliefs and ideals, and Chiron will reveal places where past experiences may have shaped your worldview through pain or disillusionment. So losing a belief system. And during this lunation, healing will occur through new perspectives, spiritual exploration, or meaningful conversations that broaden understanding. So insights will be gained for you through study, travel, teaching, or philosophical reflection. Uranus will be in Taurus in your 10th house. This ongoing influence has been bringing unexpected shifts in professional direction, encouraging you to reinvent the way you show up in the world. Jupiter and Gemini in the 12th adds another subtle layer to this, right? So Jupiter is expanding your intuition and the capacity for insight through purposeful solitude. So you will find that quiet moments, meditation, or time spent alone bring valuable understanding about the transformations occurring beneath the surface. South Node in Leo in your 2nd house. This is attachments to material security or the need to define self-worth through possessions or even financial control. Your work here, Cancer Rising, is to shift from clinging to familiar forms of stability toward trusting deeper sources of strength. Black Moon Lilith in the 5th house introduces an important dynamic for you. The 5th house is creativity, passion, and authentic self-expression. So Lilith will bring you moments where the heart insists on honesty, even if that honesty disrupts old expectations. Because this supportive trine to Sun and Moon and also to Venus, the instinctual revelations will guide the deeper emotional transformations that are unfolding within you now. Pluto and Capricorn in the 6th house of daily routines, health habits, and work environment will be undergoing long-term restructuring. The Magician's Moon for you, Cancer Rising, reveals how emotional patterns and physical well-being are connected. So it's time for you, Cancer Rising, to have the conversations about shared finances, about emotional commitments, or the restructuring of your partnerships. You're going to have hidden feelings come up. This is going to allow that deeper honesty and healing. Financial agreements or joint resources may also come into clearer focus as Mercury stations direct. So you're going to have some very powerful, profound internal realizations around dreams, moments of reflection. It's all going to be about trust, vulnerability, and personal empowerment. So Cancer Rising, we recommend that you journal your emotional insights. Allow space for solitude as well, because you want to integrate the intuitive guidance. And then recognize that true power often emerges through the transformation. So the willingness to face the transformation opens the doorway to that deeper wisdom and strength. And to get you ready for next month, the Adept's Moon will ask you how the wisdom gained through these transformations can be embodied with greater clarity and courage. So, Cancer Rising, you stand at the threshold of emotional alchemy. Insights emerging now will reshape the way power, trust, and connection are understood. Hello, Leo Rising. Welcome to the Magician's Moon. So this new moon is happening in your 7th house of relationships, partnerships, and the mirrors that reflect who we are. Saturn and Neptune are also there. And this house can represent the people who stand across from us in life. It's the realm of our significant partnerships, collaborations, and the agreements that we form with other people. So these relationships will carry a deeply emotional or spiritual tone. Neptune's going to heighten the sensitivity and compassion, while Saturn stands beside it, asking for maturity, boundaries, and clarity. So you are being invited to a deeper understanding of what true partnership means. Illusions will dissolve, revealing what's authentic and sustainable in the bonds that you share with others. Mercury retrograde joins Mars and the North Node in Aquarius in the same 7th house. So conversations within partnerships will move quickly from uncertainty to clarity. Discussions that have been revisited or reconsidered may suddenly resolve, and Mars will bring the courage and urgency to these interactions. The North Node suggests also that the relationship highlighted now plays an important role in the path ahead. So you need to recognize how the connections formed now shape the future you're creating. Venus and Chiron are sitting in your 8th house in Pisces, so intimacy, vulnerability, shared resources. Venus here will soften any emotional exchanges and encourages compassion in matters of trust and closeness. Chiron, however, suggests that wounds related to intimacy or shared power may still be present. Healing is definitely going to occur as long as the emotional exchanges are honest, or you are willing to face the deeper truths within that relationship. The courage to be vulnerable can transform connections in very profound ways. Uranus and Taurus in the 9th house of beliefs, learning, and expanded horizons. This influence encourages you, Leo Rising, to question old assumptions and explore new philosophical or spiritual perspectives. You may encounter different cultures, teachings, or education opportunities that may reshape the way the world is understood. Jupiter and Gemini in your 11th house brings growth through friendships, communities, and collective vision. New alliances or supportive networks may appear during this cycle. This will help you connect with people who share your ideals, and these friendships may provide encouragement and insight as relationships and partnerships evolve. The South Node, sitting right here on your ascendant, invites the release of old patterns connected to isolation, hidden pride, or unconscious habits that no longer support your growth. Black Moon Lilith here in Scorpio in your 4th house. This introduces an important dynamic affecting everyone during this cycle. Being square to the nodes, this is all in your 4th house. This is about home, family, and emotional foundations. Old family patterns, deeply rooted emotions will come to the surface for you. You really need to be honest about what is truly felt within your heart and within your home environment. Lilith will also form a very nice supported trine with Venus and also with Sun, Moon, Neptune, Saturn. So these revelations can ultimately strengthen the authenticity of your relationships. Pluto and Capricorn moving through your 5th house also contributes to the transformative tone around creative expression, romance, and personal passions. Encounters that stir the heart will challenge you, Leo Rising, to explore your desires and creative potential with greater honesty. So practically for you guys, conversations with partnerships or the beginning of new alliances, existing relationships, all this may deepen through an honest dialogue, while connections that are no longer aligned will shift and drift away from you. These associations, agreements, or collaborations will also become clearer as Mercury stations direct shortly after the new moon, right over here in your 7th house. So decisions about commitment, shared goals, working together toward a common vision, that may all come into focus. So take time to reflect on what is truly desired in your relationships, and it can help guide decisions moving forward. Create space for honest emotional conversations within your home or with loved ones. Leo Rising, you're also invited to recognize that relationships often serve as mirrors, and through others, important truths about identity, vulnerability, and shared purpose becomes visible. So to get you ready for next month's new moon, this Chiron here is unaspected, but the next new moon will be right on Chiron. And I'm calling that moon the adept moon, and it is going to ask you how the wisdom that you have gained this month through the relationship work can be embodied with deeper courage and authenticity. So for you right now, Leo Rising, you're invited to pay attention to the mirrors appearing in your life. The partnerships forming or evolving now may reveal new possibilities for growth and connection. Hello, Virgo Rising. There are many of you with Virgo Rising, as it is the biggest constellation in the sky. And this lunation for you, Virgo Rising, is in your 6th house. Sun, Moon, Saturn, and Neptune are here. The house of your daily work, health, service, and rhythms that shape everyday life. So vision becomes a practice here for you during this lunation. This is the place of discipline, care for the body, and the work we offer in service to others. So the experience carries a deeply compassionate and intuitive tone. Neptune will heighten sensitivity and empathy, while Saturn stands beside it, asking that inspiration translate into structure and consistency. Virgo Rising, you'll be invited to examine how your daily life reflects your deeper values. The routines followed each day may be ready for a change. Small shifts in habits, health practices, or work environment can lead to meaningful change when approached with intention. Also, notice that you have Mercury retrograde in your 5th conjunct North Node and Mars. So there will be a shift that will bring clarity around creative pursuits, romantic connections, or projects that require courage and personal expression. While Mars here will add enthusiasm and momentum, and the North Node suggests that embracing your creativity and joy is part of the evolutionary path forward for you. So your work, Virgo Rising, involves recognizing that discipline and inspiration can coexist, especially when daily routines support creative expression. Then life begins to feel more aligned. You also have Venus in your 6th house, so it softens the atmosphere around work and well-being. Venus encourages kindness towards your body and towards the environment where Virgo Rising spend their time. There might be opportunities to bring beauty, compassion, or even artistic elements into those daily routines. Chiron, on the other hand, stands in the 7th house of partnerships. This is a healing process that is unfolding within your relationships. The work you do now will help you next month when the new moon is here on Chiron. Uranus continues its transit through Taurus and your 8th house, so you will have unexpected insights about finances, intimacy, or psychological patterns in your life. This influence encourages you guys to remain open to transformation within areas of life that involve trust and shared power. Jupiter in Gemini in your 9th house expands opportunities for learning, teaching, travel, or even philosophical exploration. You guys, Virgo Rising, might feel inspired to broaden your horizon through study or conversation. The ideas encountered during this time might influence the direction of personal growth and also long-term goals. Meanwhile, you have South Node in Leo in your 11th house. Patterns connected to social validation or the need to perform within the group. Your power now does not depend on external approval. It grows through authenticity and alignment with purpose. It's connected in a square to Lilith in your 2nd house in Scorpio. Instinctual truths emerge that challenge the established path here. So this will surface through the 2nd house of values, self-worth, and personal resources. You may find yourself in moments where deep instincts challenges beliefs about money, stability, or the value placed on your own contributions. Lilith is going to encourage you to trust your inner knowing when navigating financial or self-worth issues, because Lilith forms this supportive trine to Sun, Moon, Saturn, and Neptune, and Venus. And the realizations that you have can guide healthier decisions about work, resources, and personal priorities. Pluto continues moving through Capricorn in your 4th house. So home, family dynamics, and emotional foundations may be undergoing some very deep restructuring here. So this moon might reveal how internal emotional stability supports the ability to maintain balanced routines. Practically, Virgo Rising, this cycle will bring changes in work schedules, health practices, and daily habits. You might feel inspired to improve physical well-being, reorganize your environment, or adopt routines that support both productivity and creativity. When Mercury stations direct shortly after the new moon, clarity will arrive around creative endeavors and romantic situations. Potentially also the way personal passions can be integrated into your daily life. So, to work consciously with this energy, you might benefit from examining those daily routines and identifying any small adjustments you can make. Practice mindful movement, journaling, or organizing the living or work environment. This can help anchor those insights emerging during this cycle. It might also be helpful to cultivate compassion toward oneself. Rest, creativity, and moments of quiet reflection are just as important. So, to get you ready for next month, the Adept Moon. That moon will ask how the wisdom gained through these adjustments that you've been making can be embodied with greater confidence and purpose. So, for now, Virgo Rising, during this moon, you're invited to pay attention to the patterns of your everyday life, and the magic will appear in the routines that quietly shape the future. Hello, Libra Rising, and welcome to the Magician's Moon. So this moon is occurring in your 5th house, along with Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. The 5th house is about creativity, joy, and romance, and the courageous act of expressing what lives inside of your heart. So the 5th house is also where imagination becomes personal expression. It governs art, play, romance, children, and the ability to bring something new into existence. So it carries a deeply emotional, intuitive quality for you with Pisces here. Neptune will heighten that sensitivity to beauty and imagination, while Saturn stands beside it, asking that inspiration be shaped into something real and lasting. Libra Rising, this moon invites the recognition that creativity is not just a pastime. It's a powerful force for shaping reality. Ideas, artistic visions, or heartfelt passions may begin to take form during this cycle. Venus is also in your 5th house, near the same stellium. So she's going to bring beauty, compassion, and emotional depth to the way that you express yourself. Artistic talents, romantic connections, or joyful experiences may feel especially meaningful now. The work here involves trusting what comes from the heart has the power to influence the world. Chiron's nearby, hanging out in your 6th house of work, health, and daily responsibility. This placement suggests that while the heart longs for creative freedom, there still may be wounds connected to environment, obligation, or the feeling of being overextended in service to others. Healing might occur through finding balance between creative expression and practical responsibilities. You'll also have Mercury retrograde in your 4th house, as well as the North Node and Mars. It's going to go direct in a couple of days. So this is a dynamic where conversations or realizations connect to the family or living situation. This will become clearer more quickly after the new moon once Mercury goes direct. Mars is going to add an energy of urgency to this matter. So while the North Node indicates that establishing stable emotional foundations is part of the path ahead. So decisions related to home, family relationships, or the physical environment may support the creative growth unfolding in your 5th house. Uranus in your 7th. This is the house of partnerships, relationships. So unexpected developments within the realm of relationships. You might encounter individuals who challenge your familiar patterns or encourage greater independence and authenticity. It might also reveal how the creative self-expression affects the dynamic of your partnerships. Jupiter in Gemini in your 8th house expands the realm of emotional intimacy, shared resources, and psychological insight. Conversations about trust, vulnerability, or deeper emotional connections may bring opportunities for growth. Libra Rising, you might feel drawn to explore subjects that uncover the deeper motivations behind relationships and desires. Meanwhile, you have the South Node in your 10th house, encouraging the release of old patterns connected to public recognition or the need to perform for approval. This power here from this moon does not depend on external validation. It will emerge for you when you follow the authentic call of the heart rather than the expectations of others. Black Moon Lilith in your first house, this is heavy. It brings powerful instincts and emotional honesty to the surface, and you're going to feel a strong urge to express your authentic identity, even if it disrupts the harmony that you often try to maintain. This is because Lilith forms a supportive trine in the Pisces stellium in that fifth house. Authenticity can actually strengthen your creative expression and personal confidence. Pluto Capricorn, third house for you guys, contributes to the transformation unfolding during this cycle. So communication patterns, learning processes, and the way Libra Rising share ideas may be evolving. Words and conversations will carry greater depth and intensity for you. So practically, this moon might manifest through creative projects, romantic experiences, or moments where Libra Risings feel inspired to bring new idea to life. Artistic endeavors like writing, music, or playful activities may reveal talents that deserve greater attention. Changes in the home environment or family dynamic might support this creative awakening, right? So after Mercury stations direct, clarity may arrive around living arrangements, family discussions, or the emotional foundations that influence personal growth. So Libra Rising, you guys will benefit with time for creative exploration without judging. So paint, write, dance, any form of artistic expression can help channel the imaginative energy of Pisces. You also want to create a peaceful and supportive home environment to help anchor that emotional clarity emerging during this cycle. Honest conversations with loved ones will reveal new ways to nurture both personal and creative life. So this moon reminds you guys that the heart carries immense creative power. And when your imagination is honored and expressed, it becomes a force capable of reshaping the world. So Chiron, again, this is the focal point for the next two lunations. Now it's not aspected, but the next lunation will be Sun, Moon conjunct Chiron. That will be the adept moon. And that moon will ask you how the creativity and emotional insight that you've discovered during this lunation can be embodied with greater courage and purpose. So for now, Libra Rising, you're invited to follow the inspiration stirring within. The magic will appear through the simple act of creating something that did not exist before. Scorpio and Ophiuchus Rising. I put you guys together because when you look at the star field, Ophiuchus and Scorpio are not next to each other. They are on top and underneath of one another. And, pick your chart ruler. Really, you guys can change yourselves as soon as you need to. It's the magical quality you have, and you do that so that you can mirror to other people. Now, this moon's happening in your fourth house with Saturn and Neptune, right? So the area of the private world beneath everything else, right? The family history, personal foundations, and the emotional soil. There's a very deeply and sensitive and intuitive energy here, and Neptune will heighten that emotional awareness and the connections to the subtle currents within the home or family system. Saturn is there, asking that what is felt be acknowledged with maturity and clarity. So the moon invites you guys to recognize that true transformation begins with the inner foundations. When the emotional ground shifts, everything built upon it can change as well. Mercury retrograde is with Mars and the North Node in your third house. This brings movement and insight through communication, learning, and everyday interactions. So for you guys, this means that conversations with siblings, neighbors, or close companions will quickly move from uncertainty to clarity. Mars gives you courage and momentum in the exchange of ideas, while the North Node will suggest to you that new ways of thinking and communicating are part of the evolutionary path for you. Words spoken during this time might carry unusual significance, helping to shift perspectives, revealing important truths. Venus and Chiron are in your fifth house, also in Pisces. This is the house of creativity, joy, romance, heartfelt expression. Venus will bring warmth, beauty, and emotional openness to creative endeavors. Chiron, however, suggests that old wounds related to creativity, love, or the courage to be seen may still be present. So during this moon, healing will occur when Scorpio and Ophiuchus allow themselves to express their hearts more freely. Creative pursuits, romantic connections, or playful moments may help dissolve lingering doubts about personal worth or talent. Uranus moving through Taurus in the 6th house of daily work, health, and routines. Unexpected changes continue here. Jupiter traveling through your 7th house, 8th house cusp expands the themes of partnership, intimacy, and shared understanding. Relationships might even bring opportunities for growth through conversation and intellectual connections. Scorpio and Ophiuchus rising, you might find that discussions about shared resources, trust, or emotional depth open new pathways of understanding within your partnerships. Meanwhile, you have the South Node in Leo in your 9th house, encouraging the release of old belief systems or rigid philosophical frameworks that no longer support your long-term growth. So the work here often requires letting go of ideas inherited from the past in order to discover that personal truth. Black Moon Lilith in your 12th house, squaring the lunar nodes, brings powerful insights through dreams, intuition, or moments of solitude. Emotions or memories that have been kept beneath the surface may come up for recognition. And Lilith also forms that supportive trine to the Saturn, Neptune, Sun, Moon, stellium, and to Venus. This means that the revelations that you're having through the subconscious energy can help clarify emotional patterns inherited from your family or past experiences. Pluto moving through your 2nd house in Capricorn indicates that value, resources, and personal power are undergoing a deep transformation. You might feel compelled to redefine what security really means. So practically, Scorpio and Ophiuchus rising, you might see shifts in the home environment, family conversations, or even have a realization that emotional foundations are ready to evolve. Some will feel called to rearrange living spaces, reconnect with family members, or explore ancestral stories that reveal deeper understanding about the present moment. Creative expression will emerge as a pathway for healing. So writing, music, art, playful activities can help channel the emotional insights that arise. You can work consciously with this energy by spending time in quiet reflection, listening to that subtle guidance emerging from within you. Journal those dreams or emotional impressions and see if it reveals important insights about your personal history and future direction. So you're being reminded, Scorpio and Ophiuchus rising, that the most profound transformations begin in the unseen emotional foundation of life. When the roots are nourished and understood, the entire structure of life becomes stronger. So we are getting you ready for that next Chiron new moon. And the next moon will ask how that emotional wisdom you discovered during this moon can be expressed with greater confidence and authenticity. So for now, you guys are invited to listen to the quiet voice of the inner world, and the magic unfolding within the home of the heart might reshape the future in ways that are only beginning to be understood. Hello, Sagittarius Rising, and welcome to the Magician's Moon. Everything's happening in your 3rd house, Sun, Moon, Saturn, and Neptune, in the realm of communication, learning, curiosity, and the exchange of ideas. So this 3rd house energy is the mind in motion. It shows us how we speak, write, listen, interpret the world around us. And for you, communication is intuitive and imaginative. Neptune hanging out here heightens the sensitivity to subtle meanings and symbolic language. And then Saturn is here asking that these ideas be shaped with clarity and intention. So Sagittarius risings, you guys will discover that words carry unusual power this month. Conversations may reveal deeper truths. Insights may appear suddenly through writing, discussion, or moments of quiet reflection. And the tool for you in this cycle is actually the mind itself. Mercury retrograde will be joining North Node and Mars in your second house, the space of values, resources, personal worth, and stuff. And any thoughts that you have related to money, skills, or personal priorities will quickly shift. So if there's any confusion, clarity will result. And Mars will bring the energy of determination to this process. The North Node indicates to us that learning to value one's own voice and talents is part of the evolutionary path ahead. So Sagittarius Rising, you might begin to recognize how your ideas, knowledge, and communication skills contribute directly to your sense of stability and security. Speaking of stability and security, you have Venus and Chiron in the fourth house of home, family, and emotional foundations. Venus is going to bring a warmth and compassion to your home environment. Time spent with family members or within familiar spaces will feel particularly nourishing this cycle. Chiron, however, suggests that old emotional wounds connected to family history or childhood memories may still linger. But healing's available when you allow yourself to approach these memories with gentleness rather than avoidance. So create a peaceful and supportive home environment, and this can help you restore your emotional balance. Uranus is in your fifth house of creativity, joy, and personal expression. Unexpected bursts of inspiration may arise during this lunation. Sagittarius rising, you're going to feel drawn to explore artistic pursuits, maybe a new hobby, a playful activity, something that stimulates both creativity and excitement. Jupiter in Gemini, right on the cusp of your sixth and seventh houses. This will expand opportunities for connections at work, within collaborations, and even within partnerships. So conversations with colleagues or partners might bring about new ideas that will support your own personal growth. You might find that cooperative efforts lead to opportunities for learning and expansion. The South Node in Leo in your eighth house encourages the release of old patterns connected to control, emotional entanglements, or shared power dynamics. The work here for Sagittarius Rising involves recognizing where independence of thought and personal sovereignty are sorely needed. Black Moon Lilith is in Scorpio in your 11th house, and this introduces a powerful influence for you. Instinctual truths are challenging your established path. So strong emotions within friendships or community groups. Some may even feel compelled to question alliances, or even to recognize where their authentic voice has been suppressed. Lilith also forms a supportive trine back to Sun, Moon, Neptune, Saturn, and to Venus. So speaking honestly will actually strengthen connections with those who value the truth. Pluto and Capricorn in your first house. This is a deep energy. Personal identity, self-expression are undergoing profound change. Sagittarius rising, you might feel a growing desire to step more fully into your personal power and presence. So this moon might manifest through meaningful conversations, new ideas, moments of mental clarity. Writing, journaling, studying, or teaching will help you channel the power of mental energy during this cycle. If you work consciously with it, this can be especially rewarding, like setting aside time to write down those thoughts or insights, engaging in thoughtful dialogue with trusted friends, colleagues, or mentors. And then because Mercury will be stationing direct so quickly after that moon, decisions related to finances, skills, or personal priorities will begin to move forward more quickly. So you might notice that plans which felt uncertain begin to gain momentum. This moon's reminding you, Sagittarius rising, that ideas are seeds capable of shaping your reality. And when thoughts are expressed with clarity and intention, they become tools for creating new possibilities. So we're getting you ready for the next lunation. You have Chiron here in your fourth house. The sun and moon will be right here for that next lunation. I'm calling that the Adept's moon. And it's going to ask you how the insights discovered now during this lunation can be applied with greater mastery and courage. But for now, you're invited to just listen closely to the voice of intuition, moving through your thoughts and conversations. The magic may arrive through a single idea that changes everything. Hello, Capricorn Rising, and welcome to the Magician's Moon. The magic is all happening in your second house, Sun, Moon, Saturn, and Neptune, in the house of value, resources, and personal stability. So the second house reflects how we define value in our lives. It governs money, possessions, talents, and the deeper sense of what we believe we deserve. So Pisces here makes that energy really fluid and intuitive. Neptune heightens the sensitivity to the subtle flow of abundance and inspiration, and Saturn stands next to it, asking that dreams about value and security be grounded in responsibility and structure. Easy, right? So Capricorn Rising, you might feel a deep reflection around what truly matters to you. Old ideas about worth, success, security will be dissolving. This makes space for more authentic understanding of your own personal value. The magician works with the materials at hand, recognizing that even small resources can become powerful tools when used with intention. We also have Mercury retrograde, Mars, and the North Node collecting in your first house, the house of identity, direction, and personal expression. So questions about personal direction or self-expression will quickly begin to resolve 2 days following this moon when Mercury stations direct again. Mars will add courage and forward momentum to this process, while the North Node signals to you, Capricorn Rising, that stepping into a more authentic version of the self is part of the evolutionary path ahead. You will feel a sudden surge of energy to speak more honestly, act more boldly, or even redefine how you present yourself to the world. Chiron and Venus are hanging out in your third house of communication, learning, and everyday interactions. Venus is going to bring a kindness and emotional sensitivity to conversations. Words spoken during this lunation will carry a healing energy for both you and everyone around you. Chiron suggests that wounds connected to communicating or feeling misunderstood will definitely still linger. And this moon will offer you opportunities to express thoughts or emotions that have previously been difficult to articulate. Honest dialogue will absolutely help these old patterns. Uranus in your fourth house, a very long transit of home, family, and emotional foundations. This can bring some chaos and unexpected changes within your home environment or shifting your family dynamics. Capricorn Rising will feel a strong desire to create living spaces that reflect a greater authenticity and independence. Jupiter in Gemini in the sixth house will expand opportunities connected to work, daily routines, and health practices. Conversations with coworkers or new approaches to productivity may introduce positive changes into your workplace. Capricorns will also find that small adjustments in daily habits lead to noticeable improvements in well-being. Meanwhile, we have South Node in your seventh house, encouraging the release of old relationship patterns that are based on approval or validation from others, right? The work here involves reclaiming personal authority rather than relying on the external recognition. Black Moon Lilith here is challenging this even further, creating tension along this axis. So this is in your 10th house, bringing an intense awareness to career, reputation, even public visibility. Capricorn Rising, you're going to feel compelled to confront situations where your authenticity has been restricted by expectations or authority figures. And the supportive trine that Lilith makes to Sun, Moon, Saturn, Neptune, and to Venus means embracing personal power will ultimately strengthen confidence in both work and financial matters. Pluto in Capricorn in the 12th house. This is deep psychological patterns. They're shifting here beneath the surface. You're going to feel drawn to introspection, meditation, or even spiritual practices that reveal hidden motivations and emotional truths. Practically, this moon may manifest through reflections about finance, personal skills, or even long-term stability. Capricorn Rising may begin to see new ways of using their talents to generate resources or even to build security. So if we work consciously with this energy, you can be very productive. Review your financial plans, organize your resources, identify talents that have been overlooked. It might help bring clarity to the evolving sense of value. Have conversations with trusted friends or mentors that will help bring you to the space where you can recognize the unique strengths that you bring into the world. Mercury stationing direct means that personal decisions related to identity and direction will begin to move forward. Capricorn Rising, you will notice that thoughts which previously felt uncertain begin to organize themselves into a clearer plan. So this moon reminds you that value begins within. When self-worth is recognized and honored, the resources needed to support life follows. We are also getting you ready for that next lunation called the Adepts Moon, when Sun Moon are conjunct Chiron. And this moon will ask you how the self-worth and clarity discovered during this cycle can be applied with greater mastery and confidence. But for now, Capricorn Rising, you're invited to recognize the quiet power of your own personal value. Tap into the magic of this cycle. It'll appear through the realization that the tools for creating stability have been present all along. Hello, Aquarius Rising, and welcome to the Magician's Moon. For you, this lunation is happening in your first house. Sun, Moon, Saturn, Neptune in the house of identity, embodiment, and personal presence. This house represents the doorway through which life meets the individual. It reflects how you show up in the world, how energy moves through your body, and how you express your identity. The atmosphere becomes deeply intuitive and permeable. Neptune will heighten sensitivity to subtle energies and inspiration, while Saturn is asking that identity be grounded in integrity and maturity. During this moon, Aquarius Rising, you may feel an unmistakable shift in your sense of self. Old identities will feel like they are dissolving, while a more authentic presence begins to emerge. This magician archetype is especially potent here because the first house represents a place where intention becomes action. The tools of transformation are literally in the hands of Aquarius Rising during this cycle. Mercury retrograde joins Mars in the North Node within the first house as well. So any thoughts you had about identity, direction, and personal purpose will quickly move from reflection to clarity. Mars will bring vitality and courage to the process, and the North Node will signal that stepping forward with greater authenticity is part of the evolutionary path ahead. Aquarius Rising, you might even feel compelled to act on ideas that have been quietly forming. This moon will mark the moment when a new chapter of personal expression begins. Venus and Chiron in your second house, the house of values and resources. Venus will bring compassion and beauty to the way that you approach money, talents, and personal stability. There may be opportunities to recognize gifts that have been undervalued or even overlooked. Chiron here suggests that wounds related to worth or financial security may still linger, and healing will occur when you acknowledge that your talents carry genuine value. When that self-worth begins to align with your authentic identity, the flow of resources often begins to change as well. Now, Uranus in your third house of communication and everyday interactions. This influence encourages new ways of thinking and learning. You might feel drawn to explore unconventional ideas, technologies, or conversations that stimulate intellectual curiosity. Jupiter is in your fifth house, expanding creativity, joy, and playful expression. Opportunities for artistic endeavors, romance, or activities that bring genuine happiness may appear during this period. This moon encourages you to follow inspiration wherever it leads you. The South Node in your seventh house encourages the release of relationship patterns based on approval or external validation. The magician's path here requires authenticity. Partnerships that allow Aquarius Rising to remain true to themselves will continue to grow, while those built on performance may begin to shift. If Black Moon Lilith in your 10th house, this is a powerful dynamic forming a tension here between the path that you've previously followed. So Aquarius rising, this is bringing powerful emotions connected to career, reputation, or public visibility. You might feel compelled to confront situations where your true self has been constrained by expectations or authority figures. Lilith forms this supportive trine here to Venus and also to the Sun, Moon, Saturn, Neptune combination. So embracing personal truth will ultimately strengthen public confidence and leadership. Pluto moving through Capricorn in your 11th house is contributing to the transformation unfolding. Social circles, community alliances, long-term visions for the future will be undergoing a deep change. You might even feel drawn towards groups or networks that align more closely with your evolving identity. So practically speaking, this moon will manifest through a shift in how you choose to show up in the world. New goals, personal projects, changes in appearance or behavior might reflect the emergence of a more truthful and authentic self. And you can work consciously with this, and it can be very, very powerful. So set clear intentions about the direction you wish to move. Write down your personal goals or speak them aloud. This can anchor the identity of transformation that's taking place. Mercury stationing direct quickly after this new moon. Decisions related to personal direction will begin to move forward. Ideas that once felt uncertain may now feel ready for action. So identity itself is a creative act for you. Authenticity and imagination, when combined together, you become the living expression of intention. Also, we are preparing you for the next lunation around Chiron. The Adepts moon will be a new moon over Chiron. And the Adepts moon will be asking how the emerging identity discovered now during this lunation can be expressed with greater mastery and confidence. But for now, Aquarius Rising, you are invited to step forward with courage. The magic unfolding during this cycle will begin with a simple realization that the power to shape the future has always lived within you.